So if you and I were to take a moment to listen about how we talk about ourselves, I just had a recent check myself moment with this. I started back doing the meditation of the heart. Is from the opening of the way, was one of the first spiritual books outside of the Bible that I received. And I've in the midst of so much chaotic stuff going on in the world today and so many changes that are happening, I just had decided to get back and go, get back into my core of what I did. One of the amazingly interesting things, uh, that I've noticed when doing this is the observation of my thoughts. Took me a few days, but yesterday I actually sat back and I listened, internally listened to how I spoke about myself during the day, before challenges, before things I had to do. I spoke of myself in the worst way. And I share this because I hope that this can be a real good introspection of my journey to be shared with others that you can learn and get something from. And especially not at this time where I'm not charging, I don't have any classes or any program. I'm just giving it to you a real life experience. I was talking about myself like a damn dog, to put it plain. And then once I saw that, I kind of became like disgusted, like, man, you talking about yourself worse than them people out on the street talking about you. You talking worse about yourself than them people that's talking behind your back is talking about you. Like, seriously. If you be honest and get you a pen and paper and sit back and observe your thoughts, and then it doesn't really stop there. If you really take the time when you're doing something and you hear how you talk about yourself, write that thought down. And you know what you should do from there is trace it back to its origin. I call this being a thought detective. This has been very effective for me because once you start to observe your thoughts and you're like, these ain't good, because this is what you have. No matter what you believe in, you have to ask yourself this. I can't honestly sit and say the things that I have on a vision board or the life that I say I want or the change that I want is going to come about from a person that's talking and speaking about their self, not someone else, their self internally, and expect my reality or something to change for the better. That's crazy. But if you do the investigation to trace the thoughts back, that's where you uproot it. How do you get rid of thinking negatively? Everybody just say, oh, think a different thought. No, 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 no. They left out a part. I'm giving it to you here for free 99. Doesn't cost anything, because I think some of this stuff is like, what am I going to do? Gatekeep you from telling you to do something that's going to like alleviate so much stress. I was stressed with this. You know, I was dealing by the effects of it because I'm not talking well of myself. I'm not feeling well. I'm alienating myself from people. I mean, and I'm going to gatekeep that from you? No. When you have one of those negative thoughts come up, write it down. Then even if you can't do it right now, go back later and get that what you wrote down and start tracing them. Well, where did this come from? How do you do thought detective? You just say, hey, well, where did this come from? And then you dig a little deeper. Well, where did this come? Does this really come from this? Or is this really because I'm scared of this? Or is this really because people told me I wasn't attractive? So now I do the most and go extra and go overboard and make these stupid choices because someone told me I was ugly as a little girl. To be many of those things. When you trace those thoughts and unearth those origins of them, sometimes it's going to make you laugh, and sometimes it's going to be some stuff that you're going to really, because how you get rid of the thought is once you get to the root, you uproot it. The same thing you do in a garden. If it's something you want up out of there, you can chop the top off all day. You can hide it behind makeup. You can hide it behind, I'm living my best life. But until you go down there and trace that stuff and go get the root, ain't nothing legitimately going to happen, because I tried think a better thought, think positive thoughts. I haven't really seen any change. So I started getting down in the dirt and digging in the roots and uprooting some of those things. And I started to, I have one of the things, and I've spoken about it before, is a success tape and an affirmations tape, where it's my voice saying great things about myself, my voice declaring what I'm going after and what's going to happen for me daily. Because just as you think like, oh, I just read this motivational book or took this guru's class or I had this person tap me on the forehead and tell me it was all right, until you actually do the work, because you weren't, those thought patterns and programs I had about myself, I didn't get into those overnight. It wasn't no 5-minute process that, oh, I just magically know. And it ain't gonna be no 5-minute undoing process. So that's why I have things that suggest things like a success tape, affirmations daily, constantly, because what really dictates our reality is a subconscious mind. And you're like, well, okay, cool. Well, how can I change the subconscious mind? You change it through repetition. A lot of those bad programming patterns and limiting self-beliefs that we got involved into our life, they didn't come about overnight. It came about by constant repetition, and that's what you have to do to change. And this is a hard thing to do because our minds are all over the place, and I get it. Me sitting here and telling you, oh, slow down. I don't want to sound like the next cat. Oh, slow down. Take your time. It's a work, because you had to work to get into the BS and those thought patterns that you had, and you have to work to get out of them. And my motivation that keeps me going, because I'm not going to sit here and speak and say I haven't mastered and I'm sitting on this pillow for all of y'all to worship me. What I'm saying is that the thing that keeps me going is that I know that the negative things that I caught myself speaking about myself and claiming over myself, I know those aren't the real me. And I encourage you to go through this process. Take a day, a few days to just observe your thoughts. What you're saying about yourself before you go to work. What you're saying about yourself before you get out of bed. What are you saying when you get out of bed? Hey, if you want extra credit, start to just document a few notes down each day or in the moment as they come. And go back and tell me that the dream life and what you consider your dream life, again, it don't have to be nothing luxurious. If you just hoping for a can of pork and beans and the rent paid this month, and that's the good life, whatever that is for you. Now ask yourself, does that dream life mind match up with the self-talk and that inner talk that you're giving yourself? Do they match up? Do they really match up? Ask yourself that. Do they align? I'll say in my case, it was a total mismatch of what I wanted and what I was hoping to gain. A complete mismatch. And to encourage you is that you got to fight for this. Some parts about making ourselves better and doing better for in life are easy, and some of it's work, because you don't realize unconsciously, knowingly, now you know about, oh, I need to be thinking better, I need to feel better, I need to do better, I need to get a change, I shouldn't listen to mom, I should have listened to daddy, now I'm gonna get it together and do what I gotta do. When you get to that point, you want to make sure that you're ready and you're well and you're with the expectancy of working your way out of it, because you unknowingly told yourself you was ugly, been telling yourself you ugly for 5-10 years. You can't keep nobody, whatever the beliefs are. You ain't good enough to get in business, you don't do this, you can't do that. All those limiting beliefs you told yourself for quite a long time. You don't think that you're gonna go to a chakra alignment and get some Reiki work and say I am love and abundance for a week and have a total change. No, you got to change. The most important thing is change your mind before you can change this reality. So get out there and do what you will. I wish everyone the best, and just take a moment. Take a moment to observe. How are you talking about yourself? What are you saying? How are you feeling? You know, I'll share one more thing with you is that when I started doing positive affirmations and stuff, I was having a hard time completing it because sit there and call myself loud, lazy, lousy, good for nothing in a second, but was having a hard time saying that I'm abundant or I feel well or I'm healthy. These are things that I could tell that, ooh, this is an opposite shift. This is like moving away some dirt. This is a like cleansing away the negativity that we have built up over the years. And if you're ready for the work is ready for you. And again, it's not an all-in-one process. I know everyone's selling the lotions and potions that way, but this is an internal process.